Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today for Monday morning, April 25th, 2022. The man they call Meathead, and we call her the Road Warrior. We call her the traveled one. She's been around every part of this here land, man. It's Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. Might I add that this is episode 500
Whoop
of
whoop
PWR
whoop.
Today. If I had some pyro, some streamers, some confetti, funfetti, it'd be going off right now.
That was the sound effects machine going off there.
Mm-hmm. Well, happy 500th.
Gotcha. Wow, I don't feel that old.
Well, it's what's inside us that keeps us young, Meathead.
That's right. I was gonna say I was feeling pretty good last night. I got it was 2 miles I think on the old machine there, and the legs felt good. Stretching while I was playing my video games yesterday, watching the Bucks stomp on the Bulls again, watching the Brewers eke out a 1-0 game, all stretched out and all feeling good.
Yeah, I was quite stretched out myself, running around, doing tournaments, announcing matches. Yeah,
You were
quite
selling
quite
merch on the
something.
side. I saw you doing that too. But tell us about what happened down in Chicagoland.
Yeah, so yesterday, happy to be a part of Big Time Wrestling. From what I understand, it was their first time in that part of the state. I'm not sure if Chicagoland as a whole, but first time for sure at that venue, as we had a jam packed crowd in the house right there on the field, and it was headlined once again, as we know, because we're gonna have this show from Big Time Wrestling along with none other than Matt and Jeff Hardy. We got
Nice.
the Hardys. Man. So, they're doing their huge tour, returning together as a team. And it was a hot crowd. It was in Homer Glen, Illinois, there at the Megaplex Sports Center,
Yeah, tell
Centerplex.
us about the setup. You said it was kind of unique.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge Plex Center, as I mentioned, but it was set up with the ring on the field there.
Okay.
Football, like I'm assuming, used for practices, and seats were set up, the bleachers and whatnot. But it was just a really, really cool spot to see some great wrestling. We had the meet and greets with the Hardys that were there. We had Big Con and Victor the Space Lord from The
Nice.
Awakening, formerly known as The Ascension. We had Jay Lethal in the house. We had Penta El Cero Miero in the house. We had the BTW champion Richard Holiday. A lot of my great friends and colleagues from OVW, some other great talents in the Chicago area. My friend Joe Alonzo, who we just saw recently on Smackdown, and
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of great guys in the area that I got to know. Very happy to have worked with them. Great crew, guys from BTW, awesome. Of course, we had Dave, the Popcorn Night Hero, in the house, as the one coming up in Waukesha, Wisconsin, is a co-show with GLCW and
Yep.
BTW. But I will just say, Meathead, I'm going to go back about the crowd. Now,
Okay.
packed house,
Now you say house.
so
Was this an indoor or an outdoor place? It was an indoor place, right?
indoor, yeah.
Okay.
But man, that energy from that crowd, I really felt it. I was just out there on the mic, just doing my thing, really projecting out, announcing the matches, trying to, just keeping a great flow with the show. I enjoyed meeting so many of the fans. Everyone was so gracious. The people at the Sportsplex were gracious as well. The talent. It was just a tremendous show. And it kind of had my voice back a little bit. Still a little bit raspy, but just definitely really, really shouted out everyone's names, the pops everybody got, getting to talk with everybody. And of course, having Matt and Jeff come on out. They had a huge meet and greet before the show, and then after the show, saying some great
Mm-hmm.
words as well. Um, you know, they're going to be in the Milwaukee area in a couple of weeks, Saturday, May 7th.
At the home
That
of the Blizzard
is
Brawl.
right. They'll be in Waukesha, Wisconsin, just a couple minutes west of Milwaukee. As I just mentioned, it's a BTW and GLCW show being put on together featuring the Hardys. And we're going to have the Awakening there again. Penta will be in the house, and some other familiar faces. So just stay tuned for that. It's btwtickets.com. If you want to come check that out, huge show in store. it was anything like the one I had yesterday, you can't miss it. Cannot miss it.
Nice. I'm excited. And again, I'm excited because I think I might find myself in that house as well. I think I know where the building is for Blizzard Brawl, so I might find
I hope
myself.
you do.
You know what? We'll have to talk to the popcorn night and see if the Forbidden Door works like it does at GLCW. We'll have to work that out there.
Yeah, no, it was great. Great interaction with some of the talents. We had our former senior intern Cal Hero also there. His name was getting thrown out during the matches. I somehow got involved with some shenanigans. Like it's just a great time. Definitely
Good,
come on out.
good.
So just for that. Looking forward to the show on May 7th here in the Milwaukee area.
Perfect. Glad to hear. Hey, we didn't talk about it yet, but did you see any collar and elbow in the house?
Yeah, I was wearing some in my collar and elbow windbreaker rain jacket, as a matter of fact, which was needed because it was coming down pretty hard.
Okay,
The Midwest
gotcha.
yesterday. But anywho, of course. So if you want to be protected from torrential showers like I was, make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Stay protected from the elements and look great in that fashionable wrestling street
You're
fashion.
wore out. The lips and the vocal cords are wore out, so they're not as strong on a Monday morning after a big weekend like that.
Yeah. collarandelbowbrand.com, and to save 10% off your order, use promo code LindaK. That's LINDAKAY.
Awesome, fantastic. Hey, we got a little bit of news I want to get to before we break down Friday Night Smackdown, Friday Night or Rampage as well. Possibly as early as tonight, Linda, one of my favorite wrestlers, and I know you're a big fan too. And we talked off to the side once, all the colors and all the, green stuff that comes from her eyes. When you strip it off, she's a beautiful woman. I cannot wait to see the return of Auska. Are we ready?
I am ready. If we get her at Raw tonight, I'd be elated. Definitely miss her. Definitely missing her in action. Just her personality, her charisma.
She pops on screen. I mean,
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, huge to have her back. I hope so, and hopefully she's healed up really well. And
Well,
when she
hopefully
does
she's
make it
not
to
too
the
heel. I need her to be face.
healed,
I know what you did, and I took it in a different direction. There is a possibility. Remember, really, the last time we saw her and Becky Lynch on the roster at the same time, Becky handed her the belt. Does Asuka come back and say, now it's my turn to get it back again? That was 2 years ago. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, that was when
That was
she
Money in
made
the
that
Bank.
match
She
with the.
won it on the top of the Titan Towers.
And then on Raw with no audience there, where Becky announced that she was going to be leaving because she was having a baby. And
That's
and
right.
that's a really great point, because I know in the previews it said that ever since her loss at WrestleMania, Becky Lynch returns to Raw.
It's always right in front of us. Do you know why I love that moment too? That moment right there is probably the difference in why I won the 2020-2021 PWR draft right there, for having won Money in the Bank and winning the title at the same time. So
Right, but do we gotta wait till Becky gets the belt, a title, excuse me, back at some point before we put them back into this program that we're seeing right now?
maybe. I don't
All
know.
right.
I don't know. But you know what? Again, just the thought, and just the thought of Asuka without that green stuff that she used to have coming from her eyes. I'm ready for Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of this weekend, we had a big boxing match at Wembley Stadium. It was Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury, a couple of years ago. Again, we're thinking about all the stuff that happened pre-pandemic, and I don't like to say the word pandemic or COVID or whatever, all that shenanigan stuff, right? It's pretty much over, but the world is getting back to normal. Tyson Fury just finished his match, and he said in his post-fight conference that he wants a match with Drew McIntyre. Is Tyson Fury making his way to the WWE possibly for SummerSlam, or even a little bit later in England at that big Cardiff stadium event that they're going to have?
I think either would be a great possibility. I mean, it's already been hinted. Yeah, and we didn't quite get to fruition, if you will, Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre from pre we're gonna say shenanigans days,
Yeah.
the aforementioned there. So it'd
Remember,
be nice
Tyson
to.
Fury's wrestled already too. He has had matches. He's had 2
Mm-hmm.
matches already.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, his name is hot out there right now, being a huge winner there at Wembley this past weekend
Mm.
as well. Hey, I think now would be a good time to stir the pot a bit more, give it a couple months, draw a bit more interest to bring him in. If not SummerSlam, like you said, perhaps in another way with
That
him
big show in
debuting.
Cardiff. Yeah. Fury wrestled in WWE. Remember, he beat Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel, and then came up to November 8th. He had a Smackdown in Manchester. He teamed with Strowman, and they defeated, do you remember this team? Not the A team, but the B team. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember they
Yes.
had the B team on their
Yes.
t-shirts?
Yes. The shirt that I happen to see a lot of fans just making their own. I didn't realize how popular that shirt would be. Man, that seemed like moons ago.
Yeah, it does, especially because we went through everything that we went through. While we were starting to go through it and, going through the WrestleMania that Drew beat Brock Lesnar, in under 5 minutes at WrestleMania. And we always said, what, this will end eventually. And this will be the era that we don't see in flashbacks anymore. And we're kind of back into the stadium shows and everybody's around and going to WWE events and AEW events. They don't reference back to that area anymore. Unfortunately, that's going to be a lost era. 5 years ago, 10 years, or 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, we're going to be not talking about it. Then there's going to be that special, the COVID era. That's what's going to happen. So I'm calling it right now for you. Hey, let's talk about SmackDown from Friday night. Really, I don't think they made a lot of movement here. Let's kind of run down it real quick. It was kind of bookended at the beginning by the contract signing between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte for the I Quit match. Charlotte, it is hard. So, Linda, you know this. You're around the wrestling a lot more now, and we know this because we've been watching it forever. When it comes to a match, when it comes to anything on TV, you really need a good dance partner, right? I'm not blasting Ronda Rousey. I think somebody needs to talk for her because right now Charlotte is trying to carry this entire feud by herself on the microphone.
Well, with this contract signing, there wasn't too much talk that had to be done. I know that you had the hopes of LA Knight possibly
Yeah.
having been the mouthpiece for Ronda Rousey. I just see her being a lone wolf. I mean, I didn't mean to take that from Baron Corbin, was his name? Lone wolf at
Yeah,
one
he
point.
was a lone wolf. Yep.
Um,
When he had hair.
yes, but having an I Quit match, I think this should do it between Ronda and Charlotte.
You think this is the blow off? Do you think this is the finish?
I think so. And if it is something where, yeah, I don't know what future program Ronda will be in. I don't know how
Well,
much
does she win the belt at the
bantering.
pay per view?
Man,
So I
I
hear
don't
in your
know.
voice, and I hear the frustration in your voice because I'm not trying to run Ronda down either, right? I just maybe I'm seeing it, but I hear you trying not to say that you're not entertained. Am I right in saying that you're having a hard time being entertained by this?
No, I mean, I want to see the strong points getting displayed more. I've mentioned before
Okay.
the physicality. I love her and Charlotte having the backstage vignettes. I mean, there's a lot of controlled but great chaos in back with the
Mhm.
cars.
Yeah, you're
I
talking about
love
that
that.
submission move on top of the hood. Yeah, that was
And then
pretty
let's
cool.
go back to when Ronda had the foot to her face a couple of years ago before Mania.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that, I think works better between the two of them. Um, there's different ways to showcase chemistry when they're not in the ring, meaning during their matches. Some it's verbal wars, some it's more just the physicality, maybe outside of the ring, around ringside, in the back, in backstage vignettes. I do want to see something big here happen. If Ronda does win, I am curious to see who the next program would be against because I do want to see her project more on the mic. I do want to see her do more. Um, and I don't know. I think I just really want to just see where this goes between the two of them. And See
Okay.
how much further it can take Ronda if she does become champion once again.
There is a feeling that possibly at the next pay-per-view, maybe the women's title gets unified. At WrestleMania, they unified the men's. At WrestleMania Backlash, they'll be unifying the tags. Does the women's get unified at the next pay-per-view next month? At the June pay-per-view is what it would be.
At Hell in a Cell?
At Hell in a Cell.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back to a conversation you and Matthew had where the unifications would. I think that it would take place, but I don't know if it has to be so soon right now. I think let's just build on the top men's and women's championships. I know that men's tag looks like it's obviously going that way.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree with you guys saying that let's keep the Intercontinental and the United States Championships apart.
Yes.
And have the unified champion be a part of both shows.
Yes.
I do see it that right. I don't know if they necessarily need to rush the women's as well,
Okay.
but I mean, right now, let's see how it goes with the unified men's and kind of go from there. I mean, it would make sense, I suppose. I just don't know if it has to be that soon. I just want to see more build up, and later on in SmackDown, we did get to see some more build, at least toward the women's tag, and perhaps a push for unification as well, because we are getting the talents on both shows. We are.
Yes. Right. Yeah, the draft, they do it for a pop, but they don't ever follow their own draft rules, ever. I mean, it used to be that you had the wild card once a month, and then they tried to tell us that, and then that went away a month later, and there's no consistency there. We can't buy into anything they tell us on that. Like I said, it was bookended with the Ronda and Charlotte at the beginning, and then something that I can't believe is still going on, Sammy and Drew McIntyre. They said, let's do a lumberjack match. You'll never be able to get away from the lumberjacks. They're out there. They're supposed to stop you. Well, the picture on WWE.com shows differently. Sami Zayn is halfway up the arena steps while Drew McIntyre is staring at him. Sami Zayn got away from the lumberjacks.
What a conniving but smart man. He found his way out of that when Drew leaped over the top and got everybody, and Sami Zayn disappears. Okay. Looks like we are.
They're going to do it again. Yeah, there's another match next week, a steel cage. There'll be no escape. But maybe Sammy finds the keys. Maybe he climbs out. I mean, because, they've, I think WWE's kind of really, I think they've bastardized the cage match in the last 15, 20 years. The way you were supposed to win a cage was either going out the door or over the top rope, right? And now we just have pinfalls or submissions in the cage. I don't like it.
At the top of the cage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were supposed to climb up and over, both feet land on the floor, or go out the cage door, but not pinfalls and submissions in the middle of the cage. What's the purpose? Who cares about the cage then?
I mean, even if they did Hell in a Cell, we've seen there's still ways to escape.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. I want to see something more with Sammy interrupting the tribal chief. See what kind of happens with that correlation, because it happened on SmackDown,
right?
And with another match between Sammy and Drew, perhaps a little, I don't know if we got a new partnership going on, or perhaps something brewing between Roman and Drew down the line coming up soon. I'm not sure.
That could be a SummerSlam match too. If Drew doesn't get Tyson Fury, maybe we can build up Drew to get towards Roman Reigns.
But I'm highly entertained by Sammy and him daring to knock on the door.
That's right.
Roman Reigns. But hey, he got in, and to see like it was a pretty good conversation there.
Fair enough. All right, let's twist over to AEW real quick here. They had four solid matches and an interview segment with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. They opened up the show with Adam Cole and Tomohiro Ishii. Now, Linda, you said you didn't you got caught off guard with the Ishii name. I really, really enjoyed this match more than I probably thought I was going to. I still don't know who these people are, but that did not stop me from loving all the work that they did in a ring.
Right. I know Ishii did look familiar, and I'm like, okay. But
he looks like a badass competitor is what he looks like.
Yeah, that right off the bat, and just how opposite, just looking at the two of them between Adam Cole and Ishii. But hey, one hell of a match, and just getting, like you just mentioned, you were highly drawn in and entertained in that match. So was I. Another way to showcase this partnership with all those forbidden doors open at AEW. Yeah, and this was an Owen Hart match, um, right?
Yeah, it was a
Okay,
qualifier match. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
that got
that was
Adam Cole in there. Yep.
yeah. So that was great to have that be a part of that tournament as well. But um, yeah, I think this is a nice way to incorporate more New Japan names for some of us who may not be as familiar. Let's put them against one of the top guys at AEW.
You know what was
This,
funny though? Lance Archer, or excuse me, not Lance Archer. I'm speaking ahead. Adam Cole was the taller competitor in the ring.
yeah,
That was weird. It kind of caught me off guard. All right, let's talk Lance Archer and Serpentico. This match lasted, as we say in the Milwaukee, in the neighborhood, it was about a minute because Lance Archer destroyed Serpentico.
yeah. I mean, he's a vicious man. Getting him prepared more to face Wardlow.
Yeah, it's coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah,
Daniel Garcia and Eddie Kingston. Again, a very brutal match. The Mad King had the upper hand, obviously, at first, but Daniel Garcia can go. I mean, he can work. Now, um, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching this match. I don't know if I had a dog in this fight, really. I think I was pulling for both.
yeah. I know they have a heated rivalry that's been brewing for a bit, and obviously between everything with Jericho's new guys, and of course with Eddie and um, Proud and Powerful.
Proud
Um,
and powerful. I love those guys, by the way. I think the healer face. I'm a big fan. All right,
yeah,
here's the match I was most interested in: Jade Cargill and Marina Shafir. Marina is, they talk about Jade Cargill being that bitch, that bad bitch. Marina Shafir's a bad bitch too. I didn't mean any disrespect when I said it, but when she was staring at the screen a couple weeks ago, shifted the boobies, fixed her shirt, it looked like she was ready to fight. Unfortunately, Jade Cargill came out on top. I thought this was a match for Marina Shafir, but you know what? It really helped elevate Jade Cargill.
yeah. I think it was nice. They constantly mentioned Shafir being ranked number 2 right now and highlighting her as well. She may not have gotten that win, but they definitely mentioned her accolades, her black belt, judo, jiu-jitsu, and obviously everything she's done in the mixed martial arts world. And we saw her showcase a lot of that against Jade, which we haven't seen Jade really put into many type of submission holds and that kind of
Yeah.
style wrestling. So I think while it helped make Jade in an even brighter light, getting her
Yeah.
30th match and that big celebration at the end, it definitely showcased Marina as well. And I know we've got Paige Van Zant, and Chris Ty Conti with her jitsu background as well, but it's just something
Hmm.
different with Marina because we haven't seen her too much. I think she was just 6-0. I think they mentioned I'm
Yeah.
currently AEW, but big
I thought
fans
she
right
was the
now.
one. She looked good. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
she was good.
absolutely. I would like to see more between them, to be honest with you. I know that again, this was a big win for Jade, but it was quite a challenge. We're seeing more and more some challenging matches for Jade, which is great.
Hmm.
Different style and just the way there was that push and them having the main event talk with Mark Henry. I think I would hope down the line we get a little bit more of them. I like Marina and hope to see more of her showcased on AEW.
So not only was she showcased on AEW Friday night getting her 30th win, she's also showcased as the final topic on PWR Today, number 500. How about that, Linda?
Jade or Marina?
No, I was talking about Jade. Jade
Oh,
got the win, so she's
oh,
showcased as the final match
I
on
see.
PWR 500. I
Well,
was trying to
there
be
you go.
clever. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes I'll be funny. Sometimes it's just it is. I don't know. But
Well, I will say here it is. We started off the show with our own confetti pyro sound effects. Okay, Jade actually got it, or she got the money coming down from the ceiling, or that
yeah,
kind of thing. So there we go. There's that correlation I mentioned.
Well, we appreciate you all listening. We appreciate you listening. Again, we appreciate you guys interacting with us as well. Coming up this week, we'll have some more Matthew Thomas. Matter of fact, I think on Wednesday mornings, we're making a switch, aren't we?
I do believe so.
Yeah. I think it might be the Linda and Matthew time every Wednesday morning now going forward. I think it's going to be you and the man they refer to as Matthew Thomas.
Oh, talking a little NXT with
There you
myself and
go.
the Mots. Okay.
The Mots, the Gentleman
Can do
Squire.
that.
All
Mhm.
right. So for Matthew Thomas, Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.